Thank you very, very much for joining today. It's day 2 of our virtual impact tour. But before we get into anything, I want to make sure everybody is well aware of our translation during this call. So we'll go through. If you were here yesterday, this should be a review, but want to make sure if you're unfamiliar or if you're first time, how you're aware of how our translation works. So the call will be in both English and Spanish today. So depending on which channel you wish to listen to, click the button Interpretation on the meeting controls at the bottom of your screen. So it should be a little bar, have a globe on it, and select the language you would like to hear. So if you want to hear the interpreted language only, choose mute original audio. If you would like to hear both, so where you would hear the person start to speak and then interpretation kick in, don't click that button. But regardless, make sure you're in the channel that you want to listen to today, language-wise. We can ask if you have any questions or issues, just let us know in the chat and we'll be glad to help. So again, make sure you go to the globe for interpretation, click English or Spanish. Okay, great. Now that we have that kicked off, just want to welcome everybody. We're excited to have you join us for day 2 of our virtual impact tour to Bolivia. If you joined us yesterday, welcome back. And if it's your first day joining us, we are so excited you're here to show you a bit of Bolivia today. So this is our first ever virtual impact tour to help connect partners like you with the impact that you're creating. Our goal is really to help foster the same sense of connection and inspiration that we hear so often after supporters are able to meet our country teams, partners, and community leaders who are really the ones championing everyone forever in their communities each and every day. We'd love to have you engage in both the chat and Q&A feature. We do have a dedicated Q&A portion planned after each visit. We'll have 2 visits today, so there'll be time for Q&A after each of those. So make sure if you do have questions throughout that you wish to ask those who will be visiting today, please use the Q&A feature to ask those questions. So you'll see that on that bottom panel as well. The chat, we encourage you to do exactly what you're doing right now. Introduce yourself, share your name, organization, if you're a part of a workplace giving committee or partner of ours, where you're calling in from, things like that. We would love for you to use the chat for. Otherwise, if you do have questions that are more applicable for the visits themselves, please use that Q&A feature so we can keep track of where those questions are. And so with that, I want to go through today's agenda. We're jumping right into 2 community visits. First, we'll travel to Villa Rivero to visit the district nursery. We'll hear from the district technician about the afforestation process and how protecting the area around water sources is crucial to long-term sustainability. Then we'll visit a school in Arbieto where inclusive bathrooms have been built for students. We'll hear about what kind of impact the bathrooms have made for the school as a whole. And again, we'll have an opportunity for questions submitted through the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screens. Another friendly reminder on the chat itself, if you have questions or issues or comments that you want just the panelists to see, which would be myself, and then my colleagues, Julia and Ben, who hopefully you met yesterday, who are also leading this tour. Use the panelists. You can toggle to panelists only. If you want to use the chat and share with everybody in the group, comments throughout or, reflections, you can click to panelists and all attendees. So just note the difference in those 2. With that, the last part in here is after both visits, we'll be hearing from Kate, a recent member of Club 6, our new monthly giving program, and a beloved member of our Water for People team here in Denver. So we're really excited to have her. So note that after the last Q&A, we'll still have more to share when we get back. And so with that, I'm going to pass this over and we're going to start our first visit to Arbieto. I apologize to Villa Rivero.
Ja, precies. Presentarte. Muy buenos días.
Good morning. I am I am in charge of the technician here. I'm Julio Cesar Martinez Andrade, and today I will share with you a little bit about water quality and how we work in this district with the water and sanitation office and with engineers, and he is going to explain to us the whole process and how he works. Good morning, engineer. I don't know if you can introduce yourself and if you can tell us how do you control quality of water. Good morning. My name is Kenzie Montenegro. I am the director for basic sanitation in Villa Rivero. So, as a district, we have two two facilities, and each facility has 22 communities. Central, the Villa Rivero, and Anamasi. And so it is a small district, really, but um, at the same time, we have 27 drinking water systems, and all 27 water systems have their own chlorination equipment. And we've been able to actually reach everyone with water. But it was very difficult because in Villa Rivero, uh, water uh, is scarce, and so the systems really suffer from this. But day in, day out, we have to work hard to make sure that everyone, every family has safe water, and so that each family has quality water. Now, as basic sanitation office, we have a very small lab, and we do field work, and we also have a very small lab, room. And so at the office, right next to the office, we have a very small lab. Right now, I am out in the field and I have some portable equipment that we need to perform the analysis of some parameters. And we do this, like I said, out in the field. For instance, here, I have this piece of equipment. With this, I can actually detect the chlorination equipment and make sure that it is actually doing its job correctly. And then I also have this small portable equipment, the poker, also from the Hatch brand. And so with this device, I can actually see how the pH, salinity, I can also see conductivity of water, and then also temperature. And so it is a very, very important piece of equipment and very useful for us. Me, as the director of basic sanitation and the responsible actually for water quality, when I go out in the field, I just grab my equipment here, my portable equipment, and I go out. And as I always have to do tests out in the field. And then also at the same time, I have another piece of equipment, and this is mainly for the water committees. The water committees are well, actually they all have their own chlorination equipment, and so we have to give, this is a chlorimeter. uh, so with this they measure chlorine, and we train all the water committee members so that they can actually analyze the pH, the chlorine level. So this is what it looks like, and this is what they get, what the water committees in the communities, made up of the members of the community. Then at the lab, I also have other pieces of equipment where I can actually check for turbidity, which is a turbidimeter, and then also a Hatch brand equipment to see how hard the water is, and then other assays, really. But I think the most important ones for you to know are, the ones that we do: pH, conductivity, turbidity, and residual chlorine and fecal coliforms, also like E. coli. So I do have a piece of equipment to do the basic full-blown analysis, and that is at the lab right next to our office. It's not done with this portable equipment. I also wanted to share with you about the bathrooms. Uh, So, the work that we do on sanitation, because as we have, provided access to water with some difficulties, like I said, because some wells dry up. But for sanitation, we have 60% coverage. And that the incentive is that the district, the municipality actually has started, well, actually, we call them social marketing, social bathrooms, let's say, or socially oriented bathrooms. So what does it mean? It means that the family has to build its housing for the bathroom and the well, the absorption well, depending on what we propose to the families. And the families, they have to build the housing for the unit and the well. And then the incentive is actually that the municipality provides the money to build the bathroom itself. So that there is a deadline also. The beneficiary family has to install it in 8 weeks time, 1 week's time. And then after that, the supervisor from our office, they have to go and make sure that they are actually constructing the bathroom. And once they make sure that everything is okay and it's fitted and installed, ready to use. So far, using the same model, we have built several bathrooms, several families. Like every year, we have families registered, and everybody knows, the authorities, everyone in charge. There are 20,000 Bolivianos, and with those 20,000 Bolivianos, they buy fittings and toilets. For instance, last year we bought 56 toilet sets. And so for this term, for this 2-year term, we also have 20,000 Bolivianos, and it's right now underway to see how many bathroom sets we're going to buy. But right now we are about to change the administration. New authorities will take over, but everything is done, everything has been registered to actually purchase the toilet sets. And Monday, new authorities will take over. So I'm pretty sure that after that they will purchase the toilet sets. So that is what we do actually in Villa Rivero. I don't know if you would like to know, if you have any questions, I am here. Just for you to know, 20,000 Bolivianos are about $3,000. Well, yes, there is a question here. So from the call, we have someone asking the water sources right now, the source of water. What is the source of water? And what do Water for People do with the authority? Do you build a distribution system? Well, water sources are deep wells. As Water for People and the municipality, there is an agreement between both. And based on that agreement, well, Water for People before, we didn't used to drill the wells actually, but we saw that there is a dire need. And so last year we invested in drilling one well in Valderrama, which is another community, another area. And so for this new administration, there is one well that dried up in Ondaya. Water for People is also funding with $20,000. And then the community is actually given 20% in cash to help drill the well. And so that is what the community is co-funding. That's what they can. That's when they can afford. And so we have this agreement, between Water for People and the Villa Rivero Municipal Authority. And so when the wells dry up, because in Villa Rivero we have, the budget is very, very low, and so we really cannot actually cover all of the expenses. Thank you. We have another question here. In this past few years, as Water for People and the Villa Rivero Municipal Authority, there has been a lot done in preparing a water law, and also, preparing a sanitation plan. I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about this process and how that can actually be useful, these two important useful elements in the future. Yes, for 3 years almost, or maybe a little bit over 3 years, we worked on, drafting a water act. I think we are one of the first districts to actually draft this law. And I think that is going to be very beneficial for the municipality. How? So, well, because as the deep wells are being dried up, as I was telling you, in a way, I think this law will prevent more wells from being drilled and close to the main source. And so I think that is going to be very, very important. And, this law has been already passed and it's in force already. And so that is very useful. And then also the basic sanitation plan. With this plan, we will be able get every family to build their own bathrooms. And so we are making sure that we need to monitor water and sanitation. So from the bathrooms that are already built, the chair of the water and sanitation office, they should actually make sure that everything works, and they should monitor, and also new bathrooms be built for families. Thank you very much, engineer. You've been very clear. Well, now we're going to ask also the productive development director about this nursery to reforest. Good morning, good afternoon. Can you please introduce yourself? And so the first question, how do you start working with Water for People? Well, good morning. My name is Rodrigo Garcia. I am director of productive development. So every year we sign an agreement, between the municipal authority of Villa Rivero and Water for People, and by which both entities will provide support to have the nursery and the seedlings, and to be able to distribute these seedlings to the different communities and the families. Thank you very much. There's another question. What is the process to actually plant all of these? So first, we have to disinfect the soil. So this, maybe you're asking why we disinfect. Well, this is soil that is prepared with the substrate, and the substrate has 4 organic matter. And so 4 types of soil and earth. And so we could, that's what we recommend. And then once we disinfect, we have to let it rest for 24 hours so that any microorganisms are released. And then the technician has to then start removing the soil and the earth. And so once everything is leveled up, we start distributing the seeds, maybe randomly or based on a pattern. And then we scatter and plant the seeds. We cover it with a black bag, and we know that the black rubber keeps humidity, keeps moisture. And so it keeps the moisture in and everything, and then we have germination happening very fast. And so that's what we do. And so after this process, we go to the transfer. Can you also explain about how you transfer all of these to the areas where you take them? Yes, once everything is prepared, and maybe 2-3 weeks later, it's ready to be transferred. As you can see in these other rows, all of the seedlings have been transferred. We have native species, retama, jacaranda, pipa, and many other species that are local. Well, thank you very much. I have another question. This, seedlings that have been transferred, when are they ready to be distributed out to the, field and to the forest? So maybe 7 or 8 months later, they are ready to be distributed. And then those distributions, we do it always in coordination with the water and sanitation offices and from the municipal authority. As my colleague were saying, we have two facilities, the Villa Rivero and Aramacin. And so the those and then through their committees, we transfer and we distribute them. So it's a organization and coordination process with them. Another question: during the development or while these grow, how do you care for them? Well, there are several things we need to do. So we need to water them periodically, regularly. And then after doing the regular, irrigation, we also have to make sure that they are not uh, diseased, that they don't have any diseases. After 2 or 3 weeks, we need to make sure that they are healthy. Then something else that we do is we taking the bad weed out, and so this is mainly what we do. And then what we're doing here between the municipality and Water for People, this is all distributed out and you coordinate through the offices, through the committees. But what is the benefit actually of these plants for the basins, for the watersheds? Why are we actually distributing these plants to them? Well, that has a lot of benefits. Having this nursery and the seedlings here that will then go out, it first of all, it favors our water sources because we know that year after year we have less and less water here in Villa Rivero. And so these, with this, we are actually favoring water recharge. And in that way, we definitely will have greater water recharge in those sources that are drying up year after year. And then another benefit, another important benefit also is for the landscape to look greener and more beautiful. And people who come here, tourists or dwellers, they can actually look at this municipality, this district, and they say, wow, this is beautiful. Well, thank you very much. You've been very clear. And there's one last question, engineer. You told us that in order to prepare the beds to sit, you have to mix 3 types of soil: organic matter, the earth, and then sand, and then you have to disinfect so that there are no diseases. What product do you use to disinfect? Well, we use formalin or formaldehyde, and then another product that is actually better with formaldehyde, really. That's what we are using to disinfect the substrate. Well, thank you very much. Very clear. I don't know, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the fact that we know that this, plants will favor water recharge so that the water sources are sustainable in time. But you, as as the technicians of this district, have you seen any decrease in the amount of water or scarcity of water in the as years go by? Yes, definitely. There has been a decrease. Sometimes we have droughts, and that's why we are also trying to diversify and having all of the seedlings that will then be distributed out so that we can reforest and favor water recharge of our watersheds here in Villa Rivero. And it is through reforestation, these plants retain humidity, retain moisture. And with that, we are definitely favoring water recharge. And that's why we do it. Thank you very much for this explanation. Now we will request an explanation here to Mrs. Teodosia. She is in charge of the nursery in Villa Rivero so that she can explain. She's going to do it in Quechua, the local language. We're going to translate that into Spanish and that into English. So she is actually the one that takes care of all of these plants that you are looking at. So good morning, Mrs. Teodosia. You can introduce yourself and maybe you can explain how do you actually do all this.
Chaymanta churallanita, pieza vegetalta, abono, guano nigo no hay que pegar en guano churani, chaymanta churallanita, arroz chalata, chay plasta mitad guani, chaypi nogat agani, cuadratus suanaipa, cada plantita churanaipa nogat agani, chayta preparani, hampini hormoluan preparaitawan kama, 24 horas chaypi hampisqa kan, recién 24 horas manta, wahmanta revolkaitawan, planituta ruani, planitu ruaitawan, chayman mojituta sembrapuni, chaymantata pataman, chay nawan preparasqa hallpitawan noqa lamitawan akayapuni, chaypi yana uliwan hatayapuni, tapayapuni, germinamunta, unos semanas, 7 días, 8 días, ahnap germinamun. Chay llusimutin kama, noga alalapuni, chay olinta alalapitawan kama. Regapuni, garpan, chay garpaspanan, chay manta wiñan, kay hinitas kama wiñan, chay wiñakin kamata, kay bolsitaman noga trasplantapuni. Waqtikmanta hallp'a preparallanita, chaypi noga preparani iskay casitilla lamata churani, chaymantata qusqan casitilla yana hallp'a, chaymantata churapunita pieza vegetalta 3 casetillas, chaymanta churapuni arroz chalata o casetillata churapuni, chaypi ajna preparani volcani, yakuwan preparapuni, chaymanta kay hinita churapuni no kay plantitas. Chayta ajna churapuni chaypi kay plantitas zonayanku, chaymanta hampipuni chay kuru mikunanmanta noqa hampipuni paykunata 2 semanas ajna churaytawan kama, chaymanta noqa hampipuni, chaypi wiñapushanku paykuna kay kan kapuwan plantasni, kay pata sutin kay plantitata retama, kay plantitata sutin qewiña, kay uladuit plantita sutin pino, haqay uladuit chay pata jacaranda, chaymanta haqaypi chilichi, todo plantas kaypi kapuan. Kay plantitata sutin kiswara, kay plantitata sutin chilichi, tara, kay pata sutin tipa, kay pata sutin pino, retama, acacio, chayguna plantas ni kapuashanku trasplantanaypi kay viveropi.
Ya, muchas gracias, señora Teo.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Teodosia. Now, Engineer Rodrigo, maybe you can translate what Mrs. Teodosia explained in Quechua, the local language. So she said how everything is prepared. She says that the substrate is being made with lama, vegetable soil, rice husk, and black earth. And this is the organic matter that she is using. So she says that she mixes all of these. It's 2 portions of lama and half a portion of vegetable matter, and 3 to prepare the substrate. And then she mixes it, and then she disinfects. She disinfects with a product, which is for formalin, or which is to disinfect. And then she also showed the different varieties of the native species, like chilichi, pipa, pine, retama, acacia, and many native species. And these are the ones that she is actually growing here. That's what she said. Thank you very much. Thank you, Teodosia. And then one question for Engineer Henry here. Engineer, how do you do your biological or bacteriological analysis, and how fast do you get the results? Well, these tests is made at the lab. And so my equipment is there, and we use the needle, and we see that all the bacteria get stuck on the membrane, and then we put that in the incubator and the plate, and then we get the results 24 hours later. Exactly. Well, thank you very much, engineer. That's it. I think for the nursery and for water quality, I don't know if there are any questions you can ask, and we are here to answer unless you don't have any, and then that would be it from ourselves.
Well, wonderful. I think that might be it. We left a little time
Excelente, creo que eso es todo.
Oh, I think you're in the English channel, Vero.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Also, I would like to give some major glitter, which is what we call when we share excitement for Vero, our translator. Depending on if you're in English or Spanish channel, you're either listening to her translate or you can probably see her. If not, thank you very much, Vero. You're doing a wonderful job. But thank you so much. That was a wonderful visit. We had some great questions. Thank you for participating and taking us through that. I think we are ready to travel to our next location now.
Bien, ¿cómo están? Buenos días a todas y a todos los participantes. Hoy estamos en el municipio de Arbieto.
Good morning, everybody. This is 30 kilometers away from Cochabamba. We are in the community of Achamuco, and here we are at the school, the Special Education Nuevo Amanecer, or a new beginning. This is the principal of the school. She's going to introduce herself. Good morning. My name is Amparo Diaz. I am the principal at this school, where we have children, boys and girls, young girls and boys with different disabilities and, with special needs. Very good. So here at the school, how many children do you have and where do they come from? Well, currently we have 32 students registered, and we have from two different areas, from the north and from the south. From the north, we have from kilometer 9, kilometer 10, San Juan, Díaz de Mayo, Carcaje, and then from the northern area, the students come from the Magmanata, Tiataco, Equinas, Caluyo, and Arbieto. And so different communities. Our population is very diverse. We have students with intellectual disabilities, with physical disabilities, or attention deficit plus intellectual disabilities. We also have students that are visually impaired or hearing impaired. And so this is the population, diverse population that we have here at the school. Maybe you can tell us how your day starts. What do you do every day with your students? Well, to begin with, it's two teachers for all 32 students, like I said. So two teachers, it's teacher Rosa. She actually has to support the students from the northern area, and I actually support the students from the southern area. And why we did this? Because before we actually had some issues with some of the drivers that drive them to the school, and they unfortunately have attacked them and bullied them. And some of these children really, they do not, some of them are nonverbal. They don't know what to say. They don't know, they cannot defend themselves. And so we actually go pick them up. And, the other students that are verbal, they tell us. And so that's why we talk to the drivers and we explain the situation. And so they sometimes told us, and in fact, they had, they had hit them with a stick sometimes, and we told them that they should not do that, that they don't understand really, because they have disability. We should not never allow this for no reason in no person. And so they understood that, and that's why actually we're doing this that no other school does. We actually go pick them up at every stop, and then we also drop them off at when the school ends. Why? Because other schools, they have a school bus, but the ones who actually they have social workers, and they have teacher assistants, but here it's just two of us for 32 students, and that's why we actually do that. We go pick them up, we drop them off, and we try to help as much as we can. And so I would like to know, what are the main problems and the main challenges here at the school? Maybe you can tell us about that. Sure. Well, in terms of infrastructure, I can tell you that at the beginning, infrastructure was really not adequate for, children with disabilities, because like I said, I do have children with physical disabilities. They cannot go up the stairs, or other students that really, they are they are wheelchair users, and then other students, they cannot walk by themselves, and so we need to support them. So, at the beginning, we didn't have the right infrastructure. When we started here, which was May 9th, 2016, that's when we started. And also furniture, it was not fitted for children with disabilities, but we actually did everything that we can with the authorities so that we get the correct furniture, because sometimes, we had students that would sit down on the desk, on the regular desk, and they would just fall off because, they don't have the support in their back, in their spine. So now, you know, desks now are adequate, and also colorful, because they love colors, yellow, bright, red, so that they also know which desk is theirs. And then the whole infrastructure also, we had to adapt. There's one where we actually have on the second floor, and I've always been, I've always had this idea that it is, the school that has to adapt to the students, and not the students should adapt to the school. And so we actually had a carpet be installed. And so we don't have a lot, but we try to make as much as we can. And on that, carpeted room, we use, we do physical therapy. They love music. They love to dance. And some of these, kids, they at home, they cannot do that. And so here we just, help them out of their wheelchair. We put them on the carpet, and they sometimes even drag and they dance without shoes. And then also, we have a little, yard, and we wanted this, garden that would be adapted to them, an inclusive playground and backyard, because a child with disability, they cannot go down the slide, they cannot use the swing, and so that's why we requested that we needed an inclusive playground. And then that another challenge also, was that there are several students with severe disabilities, and some of them they cannot, they drool, they cannot, they're constantly drooling because they cannot control that. And then so we work sometimes with other schools, and that really has been a very, very challenging issue. And that really broke our heart because they have been discriminating those students that drool profusely. They say that, they say, no, you know what, we're not going to let them play with the other kids. These comments are really heartbreaking for us, because this, because we work with human beings. They are human beings. And so we need to respect their feelings, and they are just as human as we are. And so those are some of the challenges. When we have to work with regular schools, we don't have the same break times because they don't want to play with our kids. Some authorities, they said, well, the special needs kids, they have to play on the side, they cannot mingle with the other kids. And we've always believed that everything has to be inclusive and accessible. We are all human beings, and we all learn from each other. We all learn from each other. So, well, I think that's been one of the biggest challenges, because what we do, it's a labor of love, and we see that our kids, they are looked down upon. And I'm sorry if if say this, but they look at them as if they are freaks, and that is not right. And so this is what what we've been dealing with. Well, so you mentioned that you have been doing a lot of work to improve the school, to make it more accessible, make it more adapted to these children. Maybe you can show us, what are the current conditions of the bathroom, and how were you able to make this change, and how is also helpful. So the situation of the bathrooms has been, well, now it's so good. Now it's an accessible bathroom, an inclusive bathroom. It actually is adapted to the needs of our children. And so myself, and also with the support of the municipal authority, we have been working on designing this bathroom, because they don't know. A lot of people, they don't know how a bathroom should be for a person with disability. And so we have been doing this work, working hard, and we've been able to accomplish that. Our bathrooms, before, it used to be like this one, but there was no toilet. It was just a latrine. But unfortunately, also, first of all, the smell was really bad, and children with special, sometimes disabilities, when they sit down, they shake and they would fall off. Can you imagine? We always had to help them in the bathroom because they didn't want to go in. But now, so this is the older infrastructure. Yeah, no, this is, of course, like I said, my kids, they cannot use this. Of course, they would fall. They didn't really want to. There were no railings for them to hold. And then we had to go take them to wash their hands. So, and when it rained, it was a mess, really. But now we have really good bathrooms. So now you can tell us about the new bathroom. Of course, I will show you. Our bathrooms are inclusive and accessible. So now they, even the wheelchair users can actually go in with their wheelchair, and also, some of them are not even young kids, some of them are older. And then they also have the railings, and then now we have a sink where they can wash their hands. And we are also instilling the, personal hygiene in them. And so it is, this is wonderful to have this bathroom now. And so this also we use for, giving workshops on personal hygiene. Here, we have one of our students who uses the sink. She's going to show how he wash his hands. Always put the brakes on. You can fall otherwise. Okay, go ahead. Wash your hands. And so you can see, he can come here, of course, with the support of one of us, because it's not a leveled, paved area. And but we help him get here, and then he does it on his own. And this is how they can now be more, I just want to say thank you, really, because before, when they used to come, there was no nothing here, really. We just had to put, throw a bucket of water whenever they, peed or something. But now it's so different. And so this is the bathroom for bigger kids. For the bigger kids, they could not, sit, but now they have the railings, they can do this, and they can be more independent. And then they also, the sink is at their level for wheelchair users, but before, it was impossible for them to be independent and use the bathroom on their own. And so this is for the bigger kids, and now this is for the smaller kids. You can see the toilet is a little bit lower. They also have the railing. They can support themselves by using the railing, and they have the sink. Also, they wash their hands after going to the bathroom. And this is for the smaller kids. And then here we have showers where, our kids, they can take a shower. And then this is for, children with more severe disabilities. So here we have this little stool where we can help them sit down. And then we help them take a shower. Then there's a dresser here, and they can actually get dressed. And then this is our menstrual hygiene corner for the girls, for the adolescents, and even grown-up girls, older girls that are still here because of their disabilities. And they can be here. Many of our girls cannot do this movement. They cannot pull their pants down. They cannot, support themselves. So here they have the railing, they have the stools to sit down, they have their sanitary pads, and then after doing that, they can put the used pad in the garbage can. They wash their hands, and and then also we have visuals, a visual aid, so they know exactly, and they understand what's happening with their bodies. Sometimes they forget, many of these children and many of these students don't have their strong memories. So all of these visuals help them, especially the girls, to understand what's going on with their bodies every month. So thank you very much. I am in deep gratitude to all of you who helped us get these bathrooms. So definitely this is supported and helped in hygiene, and dignity also. But now we have Engineer Franz. Engineer Franz is the head of the sanitation unit, who Water for People works with. Good morning to everyone on the call. I am here, the head of the sanitation unit in Arbieto, Bolivia, and we have been working together, with the school, with or Water for People and Arbieto Municipal Authority and the school board also. For this school, we definitely wanted to support the children with special needs, especially in their hygiene, which is so tightly related to their health, and especially thinking about their special needs. These are, children that need a little bit more from us. And the teacher, the principal, Mrs. Amparo, has already shown this whole infrastructure, which is completely fitted to their needs and is accessible and adapted to them. So infrastructure, as we designed it based on the social background and based on the needs. All of the bathrooms are not the same. It's not the same population we're talking about. So they have to be different. We need to take into account their needs. And so in this case, you can see not all of the bathrooms in Arbieto have, the ramps and the railings. So this is specially made for children with special needs. Teacher Amparo has already shown, right? This is a special bathroom. It is based on the needs, the showers, the toilets for younger kids, for older kids. We have the bigger toilet sets, the smaller toilet sets. So definitely based on those needs, we as technicians, we have designed the whole bathroom, all the bathrooms, and I think, today all of these kids from Nuevo Amanecer School can actually benefit. So who were involved? Were there other institutions, or what was the process for building these bathrooms? Well, the construction process has been definitely joint. It has been administered and managed by the municipal authority, but definitely we've had Water for People play a prominent role in this, the Arbieto district and the school board also, the school board from, the school. So together, all of the stakeholders involved, we were able to build these bathrooms, because we went from a very poor infrastructure to a very, very accessible infrastructure. And do you actually raise awareness among the families? Because I know that, while it is true we work at the school levels and at the family level, so how are you doing the work? Well, in general, we are supporting the families also. So one way is by using the municipal incentive. So the sinks, the toilets, the soap holder, everything is purchased with the municipal incentive. And then the hangers and the towels, plus the shower. All of that, we, as the municipal authority, we provide to eliminate open defecation. We are working together, and we want to support the families with, the families that need it the most. So we help them so that they can have a bathroom that is based on their needs. And then also we use our own resources. We have agreements with Water for People, and Water for People has agreements with other businesses by which we can actually pay half for a very, good product. So with that, with all of this work that we do, we eliminate open defecation and we raise awareness so that families can build their own bathroom. And in that way, everybody can have a life, with more dignity, healthier, and prevent diseases. Thank you, Franz. Now, Mrs. Amparo, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the achievements and personal satisfactions that you've had with what you're doing with your students, based on your work. I am sure that maybe we can talk about some achievements in this 5 years of the school has been working. Well, yes, to me, whenever I see a child, the first thing that I say to myself and to everyone, I say, we can. Because if you start off by saying, no, I cannot really help these children, you already lost the battle. As soon as I see a child, I say, we can help them. We'll go to, based on his pace or her pace. I think that makes me proud. And, for me, I think, we've been able to include two students and get them into regular schools. And for me, that is a huge accomplishment. We are always talking about inclusion and accessibility because of 10 out of 10, if you can only include one in the regular system, that is a huge opportunity that we're giving that student for his future so that he or she becomes a professional, someone that actually, is active and participate in the society. Because if you see our students, they are active, they are part of our society, but people don't see them as such. They just see them as a burden. And we always work with the families when they say, well, I am not going to take him to the park because he is disabled. And we say, no, they deserve the same rights as we do. They are part of the society just as much as we are. So please don't say that. At the school, we've been able to work with children with very severe disabilities that do not have a proper behavior because their families have always been hiding them in a room. And then when they see us, we are strangers, for them it was hard. But now, after a while, they can behave, they are happy, they are, thriving. And they, when the teacher is not there, sometimes with a new person, they will misbehave because, they are noisy, but that's because they feel uncomfortable. So I think that's my personal accomplishment that, out of 10, we have been able to place 2 students into the regular system. They are fully included, they are fully in the system. And that to me is a personal accomplishment. So maybe you can tell us, we know that there are students that actually got some awards in terms of sports. And then also one girl that came without moving her legs, and now she can walk and she can actually play in the park. Yes. What can I say? Thanks for asking that, because to me, it's so beautiful to remember. That happened a few years ago. And well, us, teacher Rosa and myself, the first year, like I said, we started working May 9th, 2016. We were new, we didn't know anything about children with special, a school with children with special needs. And so we had the sports day here, for children with disabilities. And we didn't know. And we said, you know what, let's register anyway and let's see what happens. If we win, okay. And if we lose, it doesn't matter. We risk it, we did it, and so we registered our students without really getting to know them. And May, we started. June, we had the sports day, and we trained so hard. And so we just grabbed our students. We, of course, requested authorizations from the parents and the municipal authority to actually practice out in, there's a big field in Arbieto. And it was run, train for a month. And so we just, went into the sports day. And our kid, his name is Diego Rojas, and he wins the gold medal. That to me is such such a pride that I tell about this, because it was the first year that we started working in the school. And it was the first time, and he won the gold medal. Then in 2018, we had silver medals. Then we also have cultural activities. We have academic activities. We have, talent in, paint. And then we also have special here. We teach them the braille system for visually impaired. And then they can, we know that there are not many books that are in braille. We teach them so that they can actually read and work. So this is what we're going to read on our anniversary, which is May 9th. And this is in braille and in ink, actually. And then about this girl, the mother said, no, she can't walk, she can walk, she cannot walk. And we have a donkey where, it's like a support donkey, actually. We would always, with time, she would walk with the donkey. And now, limping a little bit, but she's walking. She's walking. And well, she also has an intellectual disability, but we say, stand up, don't sit down, stand up, let's go to play. And we also use braille, and we use sign language because she's nonverbal. Sometimes with sign language, she understands. When we say park, she goes. And when we say park, it runs to the park. And that is, to me, so wonderful. What can I say? For many people, maybe that is not important, but to me, it's huge. And sometimes we have to actually get, the transportation to take them to the park or somewhere else. And that's how little by little we have been, developing the school. There's still discrimination. We feel discriminated. We know that, they didn't ask to be born that way. They didn't ask for it. That is not contagious. If there's visually impaired, nobody will get visually impaired for playing with them. Anybody can be visually impaired. You can have a child who's visually impaired. It can be any time. We know that disability, nobody is free from having someone with a disability or you yourself. So we need to have infrastructure that is correct, that is accessible, that is adapted and fitted to them so that they feel loved. And that's what they need. That's all they need. They need to feel loved. And that's it. Thank you. So I would like to tell you that everyone on the call is congratulating you and really giving you positive energies and positive vibes so that you can keep on working, keep on doing what you're doing. It's so gratifying. I know that despite all the difficulties, you are still pushing through, working hard. Thank you very much and congratulations on behalf of the whole team and on behalf of everyone on the call. Thank you and congratulations. Now we are going to ask a few questions that we have here. So they're asking if Water for People Bolivia actually has private funds. So maybe Engineer Franz can talk about the campaign Bolivia con Agua or Bolivia with Water and what we are thinking of doing in the future. So maybe you can tell us about Bolivia con Agua or Bolivia with Water campaign and how Water for People and the municipal authorities and the other NGOs also are involved. Yes, in fact, the Bolivia with Water campaign is an initiative that to me is wonderful because it really has gotten to every single corner of Bolivia. We have companies, NGOs, individuals even trying to work together so that we can reach the neediest of families in terms of water, sanitation, etc. So we have been able to get all of these funds along with Habitat for Humanity, PH Bolivia, and Water for People. These organizations have joint efforts. We are always very thankful and grateful for them, because with all of these donations that you give, it means a huge change. It's transformative, and we can actually reach the neediest for water, sanitation, for families, for schools like this one. So thanks to this donation, really, we can do things like the ones you're seeing with your own eyes. With your donations, we can help those people who really need it, who really need, water, sanitation, health. Thank you, Engineer Franz. Now, also, they're asking us, where does the money come from to build this infrastructure, and also where the money comes from for you to pay for the water service that you use now? So, well, water service is the community. Chamoco community pays for it. Then, well, the infrastructure, as the engineer already said, it's, a joint effort by Water for People and the municipal authority. And the labor actually was the own community dwellers from Chamoco community and the school board. And it's been a joint effort, and this is how we were able to build this. Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit, because we have some questions here on the chat box. You have a cesspool or a septic tank. Where are the gray waters being dumped? Yes, this whole infrastructure, as you can see, we have the toilets, and so definitely there's fecal matter that cannot be just left there. It has to go to a septic tank or a cesspool. Here you see the lead. This is where we have the tank. Everything, all the fecal matter, it comes here, and then we use a pump to pump it out. And so everything goes to this cesspool. And so there's no problem afterwards. We then remove it with a tank with a pump, and that is specially made for that. Well, there's another question here for teacher Amparo. Because how do you get each child into the vehicle to get to school? How do they use a bus? How do you pick them up and drop them off? Well, we carry them physically. We just pick them up and put them on the bus. So we have a WhatsApp chat with the mothers and telling them that we are getting there, whether we're underway. And so they are always waiting there at their bus stops, and we carry them physically. Literally, we carry them into the bus. And so those who can walk on their own, well, they do it. Sometimes they just want to do it so fast, and there could be some accidents. So we help, they go first, and then the wheelchair users and all of those of them who can do on their own, we pick them up and literally carry them into the bus. What is the message maybe that you can give to all the supporters and everyone contributing? What is a message of hope to all the families who have a child with a disability? Well, the message to the families with a child with a disability is, do not give up. If God chose you to have these angels, they are angels really on earth. So just never give up. Always try to find a way out, because I know that it's like a pilgrimage here. It's going here and there, doing this and that, but never give up, please. Because like I said, they have different skills, they have different abilities, they have talents. It's just a different type of talent. And then a message for everyone, and even for myself, is just, we are people just like them, and they are also special just like us. Thank you. Thank you very much, Principal Amparo. Thank you, Engineer Franz. I don't know if there is any other question. We can still, we still have time for a few questions, if there are any. Well, I think Engineer Franz also wants to say something. Well, I just wanted to say that just like, we have done campaigns and we've raised awareness and we, have volunteered, like myself, I volunteered time and energy, I think we all should actually do that, to support people who need it the most, who need water, sanitation and health. And so I ask you, to everyone on the call today, you can also help us. Even if you're not here, you can help us with a, donation, no matter how small. You can go to Water for People or Habitat for Humanity. You can give this, little grain of salt. And that's not for us, for me, for her. It's for those who need it the most. And so I am very thankful and grateful for you for supporting us all the time, always with your donations. Rest assured, your donations get to us. Water for People is a very transparent and open organization, and we value that so much. Thank you very much. Please keep on supporting us. And like I said, rest assured, your effort for us is huge. But we still need a little bit more. We still need more to get to those, communities that are furthest away. We want to reach everyone forever, and that is our goal. And so please keep on supporting us. Thank you. And then there's a question here for you, teacher Amparo. What are the conditions of the families at home? Do they have bathrooms at home? Do children have bathrooms like this at home, or do also you try for them to have them and to learn more? Maybe 3 years ago, the families really did not have bathrooms, not a toilet or, a proper bathroom for children to use. We had some cases, some students that really, they used open defecation. So we've been able to help with these bathrooms, right? But then we saw the work done by Water for People and the municipal authority. They also do it out in the families. And so we see that they also have their, their bathroom with a sink and the toilet. And so when we go to the families, to the households, and we ask, how does your, child go to the bathroom? And sometimes they take them and they clean them up. And so we are trying to reinforce so that the child can actually do it on their own. We have, for different reasons, families with no bathroom, really. We still have a few families that do not have a bathroom. And so, most of them are really, really needy. And so we're always trying to help as much as we can. So sometimes there are families who have one child with a disability and another child in the regular system, in the regular school system, but really they don't have a bathroom, and it is very difficult, really, the situation. But then we've seen some families that have a bathroom. And so in those, we go, we make sure that they are clean, that they, make good use of it. Thank you very much, Teacher Amparo. Also, we have a question if Water for People collaborate with other NGOs that have the same mission. Maybe Roxana, you can talk about that. Yes, well, Water for People has a strategic partnership with FH Foundation and Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity has been also given us assistance for monitoring the construction of bathrooms, and we also have capacity building for the technicians so that they can actually make sure where the families with children with disabilities are, and they be priority so that they can also have bathroom and, that is adapted and accessible for their children. Thank you very much. Any other question among the participants, attendees, or we can say goodbye now?
I think that about does it. Thank you so much for all the amazing questions and interaction. What a beautiful representation of work, and very, very admirable on behalf of everybody. Thank you so much for the time. So thank you to everybody on the line here as well for really compelling and engaging questions. As hopefully you can tell and feel through this this visit and the visit prior, while yes, Water for People works in water and sanitation systems, and systems change, but really it's a much larger global force at work. Water and sanitation has a ripple effect, pardon the pun, but seeing schools like that and the nursery prior, hopefully it gives you a sense of better sense of understanding. I know it does for me as well, and how Water for People's work really impacts people beyond maybe the obvious ways, and understanding what a global impact it has. So thank you for joining. I mentioned this at the beginning, that we have a wrap up here with another speaker, and I will introduce her shortly here. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen again. Again, thank you so much for active participation and willingness to stay on the line with us here. I have been a part of this amazing team with Ben and Julia, who are working with all of our incredible colleagues in Bolivia. But so I knew what was coming, but I still wasn't completely prepared for how truly impactful those visits were in both Villa Rivero and Arbieto. I'd like to take a moment and just say thank you to our incredible colleagues in Bolivia who are making this happen. To Alberto and to Roxana behind the scenes, and Grover, so many names and so many people who are connecting us in this really meaningful and cool way. So I hope everybody feels, I know everybody in here feels that same type of gratitude. So I appreciate you being here. So thanks again for coordinating these two amazing visits. At this time, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Kate Sawyer, Water for People's Monitoring and Evaluation and Sanitation Officer, and proud Club 6 member. So she'll share here a little bit about what Club 6 is. She's graciously offered some of her time to share about her role as well at Water for People. So with that, I will invite Kate to come on camera and share her story.
Hi, Georgia. Thank you so much for the introduction, and thanks to everyone for your attention and just listening to me while Georgia passes the mic to me for a couple minutes.
Kate, I'm not sure. I can't hear you. I think I have mute original audio on, but maybe are you in the English channel?
I thought so. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Is that better? Okay.
That's great.
I was
Thank
not.
you.
I was just in original audio instead of
perfect.
mute.
Welcome. Thanks, Kate.
Yeah. Sorry. So Kate here. I just thanks to Georgia for the introduction, and thanks to everyone for giving me 5 minutes of your time and attention while the microphone is passed to me. So I've been a Water for People employee for over 4 years. I work on the global programs team at Water for People, and so I provide technical support to all 9 country programs across the globe where Water for People has offices. I really enjoy it. I'm a person who is heavily motivated by the purpose behind the work and the impact that the mission of my organization is having. And so, I started learning more about the water and sanitation crisis when I was young, like when I was a student and early in my career. And it's obviously been highly impactful on my life. And I'm so honestly honored that I've been able to support progress towards ending the global water and sanitation crisis, because we are seeing progress. and at the same time, lots of challenges and lots of work to be done. And really, I hope I can just give a personal testament on this call to people getting to know Water for People's work, that I would not want to work at any other organization. Water for People has really fantastic quality programs to back up our efforts. Like, we really walk the walk. And we're out there doing high quality and high impact work, and that Everyone Forever model for water and sanitation, it's really working in so many places, and we're in a very strategic point in our organization's history to scale up and look to have further impact. And so yeah, so in Club 6, that's what I do in my day-to-day, right? In Club 6 started up, I knew I wanted to get in on the ground to further support the mission of Water for People in a way that's, beyond like the day-to-day grind of my 9-to-5 job per se. And so if anyone is not aware what Club 6 is a community of, passionate and impactful supporters to Water for People that care about ending the global water and sanitation crisis and give monthly to do so. And so it's called Club 6 after the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which is named to provide universal access to safe water and sanitation services for every person in the world by the year 2030. And so the minimum commitment to join Club 6 is $6 a month. And I just love that because $6 a month is so manageable for me. It's a cup of coffee where I live. And so it is inclusive to a lot of different people to be a part of that community. And I really know that my small unrestricted gift really is leading into a much larger goal with so many other people's gifts. It really adds up and it can go far. So yeah, joining Club 6 to support Water for People in that like extra way outside of my day-to-day was just a no-brainer for me, and I'm glad I did. As someone within the programs team that's working day to day and supporting these programs on the ground and seeing the impact that that's having, I can really testify that that small unrestricted gifts like from Club 6, they really add up and they go far and are pivotal to Water for People being able to operate in the way that we can operate, and are highly impactful to our organization. And so we're very thankful for all the the large community of Club 6 supporters. And also it's just a fun community. I work from home, which at times, I imagine there's some other people on the call who work from home also. At times it can feel isolating in certain ways. And so it's another virtual community to get plugged into and be a part of for me. And plus I can give a testament that Water for People has a history of making very high quality t-shirts. My Club 6 t-shirt is on the way right now. I don't have it yet, but I'm wearing this old Water for People t-shirt, which is getting a bit worn out. So time for a new one. It's very comfortable. And so, yeah, that's what I'll say about Club 6. And this week, I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but this week there is a very generous donor that's provided a $15,000 match for all gifts that are made this week. So today and tomorrow, everything is matched up to $15,000. And so if people on this call wish to donate to this match and become a member of Club 6, you can go to the donate link on our website and click Give Monthly, Join Club 6. Your first gift will go towards this match for Bolivia, and you'll also be able to join Club 6. So like a double win opportunity. And I guess my closing word is just, I hope that everyone has felt the impact of your support so far throughout this tour. I can personally attest that the programs in Bolivia are amazing, mostly because the staff there and all our partners on the ground, which Georgia was just thanking for their hard work to put this on. They're some of the most intelligent and driven and motivated people I've ever met. And if you haven't already, I would just urge you to consider doubling your impact or joining Club 6 to show your support for the work that they're accomplishing on the ground. So yeah, Georgia, back to you. Thanks everyone for the attention.
Thank you so much, Kate. That was amazing. We are, as I mentioned before, I'm very, very grateful to work with such talented colleagues, and I absolutely consider Kate to be a part of that group of very, very talented colleagues that I have the opportunity to work with, and appreciate you sharing why you decided to join Club 6 and about the work that you do on behalf of Water for People. I think the word that I identified with and what you just shared, and I think goes back to the visits that we had today, was inclusive. You know, Club 6 is a very inclusive group that you can give at whatever level you feel comfortable. And the work that Water for People does is very inclusive. And I think that the synergy between the community that has been created within Club 6 and the work that Water for People does throughout the 9 countries where we work is making sure that everybody has access to clean water, make sure that everybody has access to join a community like Club 6. So thanks again for joining us, Kate. I'm going to wrap us up here. And if you are interested in joining Club 6, as Kate mentioned, we are having a limited time offer for a complimentary Club 6 t-shirt. I appreciate you saying that you like the quality of the shirts. Hopefully people wear them many years to come, but if you are interested in giving through that donate link, you can really kind of triple win there by participating in this match, joining Club 6, and also getting a sweet Water for People t-shirt that you can rock. So we hope with that, bringing it back to the reason that we're here and the incredible work that's going on in Bolivia and beyond. But we hope that you feel compelled to either give or maybe share with family and friends to help us get to that $15,000 match. You know, if those who we've had an incredible response, I keep saying incredible, but it really is so incredible response to the registration. So if everybody here donated today, we'd have a massive collective impact toward our overall goal. So we hope that you feel compelled to support in whatever way you feel comfortable. Of note, for our lovely Canadian supporters who are on the line, you'll also see another bar underneath that says donating from Canada, Give Through Canada Helps. So make sure if you are donating there that you can donate and make that tax deductible in Canada, and that will also be counted toward the match. So thank you again. We hope to see you tomorrow for our final day. We'll be traveling to another district and doing some other unique visits. We've had some comments in the chat just asking if each day is unique, and hopefully you found out, if you attended yesterday and maybe today, that yes, each day is unique, and we encourage and implore you to come join us on our trip tomorrow as we round out this incredible week. So thank you again, and we hope you have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.